The massive alien ships appeared over Earth on a Tuesday morning. They came without warning, blocking out the sun over major cities around the world. The ships were huge, each one the size of a small country. They hung in the sky like dark metal clouds, casting shadows that made people look up and point. Within hours, every television, radio, and internet connection on Earth received the same message. The transmission showed a tall gray creature with 4 arms and glowing red eyes. Its voice was deep and mechanical, translated into every human language at once. "Primitive species of the 3rd planet," the alien said. "I am Warlord Krexthal of the Zephyrian hegemony. We have conquered 47 star systems. Your weapons are toys compared to our power. Your civilization ends today unless you surrender immediately," the alien continued. "You have 24 Earth hours to give up all military forces and accept our rule. Refuse, and we will destroy your cities one by one. This is how we have brought peace to the galaxy. Submit, and some of you may live as our servants." The message ended with images of destroyed alien worlds, burning cities, empty planets, and the bones of creatures that had refused to surrender. The aliens expected fear. They expected panic. They expected Earth's leaders to call them back within hours, begging for mercy. They did not expect what actually happened. The first response came from Earth's United Defense Council just 3 hours later. President Sarah Chen of the Earth Alliance stood at a podium, flanked by military leaders from every nation. Behind her was a large screen showing the alien message. "Well," President Chen said with a slight smile, "that was certainly something. After careful consideration, we have prepared our official response to the Zephyrian hegemony." She pressed a button. The screen behind her changed to show a cartoon cat playing a piano. The music that followed was Rick Astley's "Never Gonna Give You Up." The entire alien fleet had just been rickrolled. Furthermore, President Chen continued as the music played, "We would like to formally respond to Warlord Krexthal, was it? Here is our complete diplomatic reply." She unfolded a piece of paper and began reading in a serious tone. "Dear Krexthal, your ships are so big, they must be compensating for something. We rate your invasion threat 2 out of 10 stars. The special effects were okay, but the acting was terrible. Please try again when you have a better script. P.S. Why did the alien cross the space highway? To get to the other side of the galaxy. Signed, Earth." The alien commanders watching from their ships were confused. This was not the response they expected. In 47 previous invasions, species had responded with either immediate surrender or desperate military action. Never had anyone laughed at them. Warlord Krexthal stood on the bridge of his flagship, staring at the Earth transmission with all 4 of his eyes. His tactical officers looked at each other, unsure what to say. "Sir," said Commander Yextai, "perhaps they do not understand the gravity of their situation. Should we send another message?" "They must be primitive beyond our calculations," Krexthal replied. "Send the secondary threat protocol." The second alien message arrived an hour later. This time Krexthal appeared more angry. "Foolish humans, you do not comprehend your doom. Observe our power." The screen showed one of their smaller ships firing a massive energy beam that completely destroyed a large asteroid. "This will be your fate if you continue this." "Mockery," the alien said. "We are not amused by your strange responses. Surrender now or face extinction." Earth's reply came even faster this time. Every major social media platform simultaneously posted the same response. It was a meme showing the alien's face with the caption, "Much anger, very destroy, such wow." Below that was another meme of a tiny dog barking at a much larger dog with the text, "Aliens threatening Earth, 2024, colorized." The response also included a live stream link titled "Alien Tantrum." Compilation number 1, where Earth's comedians provided running commentary on the alien threats. "Look at this guy," said comedian Jake Morrison during the stream. "He's so mad that nobody's scared of him. It's like when your little brother puts on dad's shoes and tries to be tough. Buddy, you're in space. Nobody can hear you throw a tantrum." The stream had 50 million viewers within the first hour. On the alien flagship, the mood was getting worse. Junior officers whispered among themselves. In their military culture, respect and fear were everything. Never had they encountered a species that responded to their might with, was the human word roasting? "Sir," said Communications Officer Zeppin, "the humans have also sent us something called a care package. Our scanners detect no weapons. What is in it? Krexthal demanded. According to their message, it contains participation trophies, a stress ball, and a book called How to Make Friends and Influence People. There is also something called a gift card for anger management classes. The warlord's red eyes grew brighter with rage. This is impossible. No species has ever made fun of us, sir? Suggested Yextai. Send the third protocol, Krexthal growled. Show them the destruction of Kelthera Prime. That will end their foolishness. The third message showed the complete annihilation of a planet. Cities burned, oceans boiled, and millions of creatures died as the Zephyrian fleet turned an entire world into ash and rock. This was Kelthera Prime, Krexthal said in the message. The Keltharians thought they could resist us. Now they are dust. This is the fate of all who oppose the hegemony. You have 12 hours to surrender. Earth's response broke all previous records for viral content. Someone had edited the destruction footage to the tune of "Another One Bites the Dust" by Queen. The video included pop-up commentary like, "Oops, and somebody's having a bad day. And have you tried turning it off and on again?" More importantly, Earth's leaders held another press conference. This time, President Chen was joined by military leaders, scientists, and, surprisingly, a panel of comedians and internet personalities. After reviewing the aliens' latest home movie, President Chen said, "We have decided to official rate their invasion attempt. Our expert panel has scored it as follows. Style, 3 out of 10. Creativity, 1 out of 10. Threat level, 2 out of 10. Overall entertainment value, 4 out of 10. Comedian Sarah Williams leaned into her microphone. "I've seen scarier aliens in B-movies from the 1950s. At least those aliens had personality. These guys are just boring." Also, added internet celebrity Mike Thompson, "Has anyone else noticed they haven't actually done anything to Earth yet? All talk, no action. Classic bullies." The conference ended with the entire panel laughing as they announced Earth's official hashtag response: Alien Fail. By the end of the first day, Alien Fail was trending worldwide. Memes flooded social media. People dressed up as aliens for impromptu comedy skits. Children drew pictures of the alien ships with funny faces and posted them online. On the Zephyrian flagship, Warlord Krexthal stood alone on his bridge, staring at the blue planet below. For the first time in his military career, he did not know what to do. His species had conquered through fear and overwhelming force. But how do you conquer a species that refuses to be afraid? How do you defeat an enemy that turns your every threat into entertainment? "Sir," said Yextai quietly, "the crew is confused. They have never seen anything like this." Krexthal said nothing. Below them, Earth continued to spin peacefully, completely unafraid of the most powerful military force in the galaxy, and somehow that terrified him more than any weapon ever could. The second day began with Warlord Krexthal making a decision that would haunt him forever. He decided to show the humans real power. Not just recordings of old battles, but a live demonstration that would surely break their strange behavior. "Target the small moon orbiting their planet," he ordered his weapons officer. "We will destroy it completely." Surely they cannot make jokes when they see their own moon turn to dust. The weapons officer hesitated. "Sir, destroying their moon might affect their planet's tides and weather patterns. It could kill millions of them." "Exactly," Krexthal said. "Fear will return when they see real destruction." The alien fleet moved into position around Earth's moon. Their largest ships charged their main weapons, energy building until the guns glowed bright blue. Every human on Earth could see the ships surrounding the moon, getting ready to fire. Earth's response was immediate and completely unexpected. Within minutes, every major news network had rebranded the event as the Great Moon Demolition Derby of 2024. Commentary teams were assembled. Betting pools opened. Street vendors began selling moon destruction viewing parties supplies. "Welcome to the most expensive fireworks show in human history," announced sports commentator Bob Richards on Global News Network. "I'm here with alien invasion expert Dr. Lisa Park to provide live commentary on what promises to be either the end of the world or the greatest reality TV show ever filmed." Dr. Park adjusted her glasses and smiled at the camera. "Thanks, Bob. What we're seeing here is a classic intimidation tactic. The aliens are trying to scare us by destroying something we can all see. But honestly, I'm more impressed by their light show than worried about their actual military strategy. And there they go, Bob shouted as the alien ships began firing. Look at that coordination. It's like a synchronized swimming team, but with death rays. The moon began to crack and crumble under the alien assault. Massive chunks of rock drifted into space as the satellite that had orbited Earth for billions of years was systematically destroyed. Ooh, nice shot, Dr. Park commented as a particularly large explosion lit up the moon's surface. That looked expensive. I wonder if they have insurance for this kind of thing. The live stream had over 2 billion viewers. Chat messages scrolled by faster than anyone could read them. Most were jokes, memes, and people rating the explosions like Olympic judges. 10 explosion. Moon speedrun any percent. Right, Moon. You were okay, I guess. Can we get them to do Mars next? Always thought it was too red anyway. On the alien flagship, Communications Officer Zeppin monitored Earth's broadcast with growing confusion. Sir, they are scoring our attack. Like a sporting event. What do you mean, scoring? Krexthal demanded. They have judges giving points for each explosion. Currently, we have 8.5 out of 10 for style, but only 6 out of 10 for creativity. Someone complained that just shooting at it was boring compared to other human entertainment. Krexthal felt something he had never experienced before. Embarrassment. His species' most powerful demonstration of force was being treated like a game show. Also, Zeppin continued, they have started a betting pool on how long it will take us to finish. The current favorite bet is 2 hours and 37 minutes. How long have we been firing? The warlord asked. Hours and 35 minutes, sir. As if on cue, the last large piece of the moon exploded into tiny fragments. Earth's moon was gone, reduced to a cloud of debris that sparkled in the sunlight. The alien fleet waited for the fear to begin. They expected panic, crying, desperate pleas for mercy. Instead, Earth's response was immediate applause, and that's a wrap, Bob Richards announced on the live stream. The aliens have successfully destroyed Earth's moon in 2 hours and 38 minutes. Not bad, but I think the betting favorite was off by 1 minute. The camera switched to Dr. Park, who was clapping slowly. Well, they certainly showed us they can break things. Gold star for property damage. Though I have to say, for a species that supposedly conquered 47 star systems, that took longer than I expected. What's our next segment, Dr. Park? Well, Bob, our viewers have been asking what the aliens plan to destroy next. We've got a voting poll running on social media. The top choices are Mars because nobody likes Mars anyway, or one of Jupiter's moons because there are so many of them. The broadcast continued with expert analysis of alien weapon technology, interviews with astronomers about what losing the moon meant for Earth, and a cooking segment about foods to eat during an alien invasion. But the most damaging part for alien morale was yet to come. A human, teenager named Emma Rodriguez had been live streaming her reaction to the moon's destruction. Her video had started as a joke, but it quickly went viral because of what she said as the moon died. Oh wow, they actually did it, she said, not sounding impressed. They blew up the moon. Okay, so what now? Are we supposed to be scared? Because honestly, the moon was just kind of there. It's not like they destroyed something important like Netflix servers or chocolate factories. She paused, thinking. Actually, you know what? Thank you, aliens. Now we don't have to deal with werewolf movies anymore. No moon, no werewolves. You've solved one of our oldest movie problems. Emma's video was shared millions of times, but it was her final comment that really hurt alien morale. These aliens are like that kid in school who breaks your pencil and then stands there waiting for you to cry. Except we're not crying. We're just annoyed that now we have to buy a new pencil. Thanks for the inconvenience, space jerks. The phrase space jerks became the most popular way to refer to the aliens. It appeared on t-shirts, coffee mugs, and protest signs. Someone created a song called Space Jerks, the Moon Destroyer song, that reached #1 on music charts worldwide. On the alien ships, crew members began to whisper among themselves. In their culture, destruction was meant to inspire fear and respect. The idea that someone would see their ultimate weapon demonstration and call them space jerks was incomprehensible. Sir, Commander Yextai reported, morale among the crew is declining. They do not understand why the humans are not afraid. Send another message, Krexthal ordered. Tell them we will destroy their largest city if they do not surrender immediately. The threat was broadcast within the hour. Krexthal appeared on every screen on Earth, his red eyes blazing with anger. Humans, your moon is gone. Your tides will change. Your weather will shift. This is the price of your defiance. Surrender now, or we will destroy New York City in exactly 24 hours. This is your final warning. Earth's response came in the form of a massive online event. An alien countdown began trending immediately. Someone created a countdown timer website that played carnival music while showing the time remaining until the aliens' deadline. New York City itself responded by declaring Alien Threat Day as an unofficial holiday. The mayor held a press conference announcing that the city would host the biggest goodbye party in human history if the aliens actually followed through on their threat. If they want to destroy New York, the mayor said, we're going to throw the best last party this city has ever seen. Food trucks, live music, comedy shows, and fireworks. If we're going down having fun. Tickets for alien invasion viewing parties sold out in minutes. Hotels reported record bookings as people traveled to New York specifically to watch the aliens attack. Late that night, Krexthal stood alone on his bridge, watching Earth spin peacefully below. His communications officer approached with the latest reports from the planet. Sir, the humans have created a comedy show about us. It is called Galaxy's Dumbest Invaders. They also made a mobile phone game where players defend Earth by throwing memes at alien ships. Krexthal said nothing. Also, the officer continued nervously, someone on Earth has created what they call fan fiction about you. It involves you falling in love with a human and learning the power of friendship. What is fan fiction? The warlord asked. I am not entirely sure, sir, but it has received very positive reviews. For the first time in his military career, Warlord Krexthal of the Zephyrian hegemony began to question whether his species truly understood how to conquer other worlds. Every tactic that had worked on 47 planets had completely failed on Earth. Worse yet, he was beginning to suspect that the humans were not just unafraid of his fleet. They were having fun with it, and somehow that was the most terrifying thing he had ever encountered. The countdown timer hit 0 at exactly noon New York time. Warlord Krexthal had spent the entire night debating whether to follow through on his threat. Destroying New York City would certainly show Earth that the Zephyrian hegemony was serious. But after watching human responses for 2 days, he was no longer sure that mass destruction would have the effect he wanted. Still, his military doctrine was clear. A threat made must be a threat kept, or the enemy would never respect your power. Begin the attack on New York City, he commanded. The alien ships moved into position over Manhattan, their weapons charged with the familiar blue glow that had destroyed the moon. But this time something was different. As the aliens prepared to fire, they could see the city below them clearly. And what they saw defied all logic. The streets of New York were packed with people. Not people running in panic, but people having a party. The entire city had become one giant festival. Music played from every corner. Food trucks lined the streets. People danced, laughed, and took selfies with the alien ships visible in the background. Someone had set up a massive screen in Times Square showing the countdown timer, now reading Alien Attack Begins Now, in bright, cheerful letters. The crowd cheered when it reached 0. Sir, the weapons officer said hesitantly, they appear to be celebrating. Krexthal stared at the screens showing New York City. In 47 previous invasions, cities under attack had been filled with screaming, running, desperate people. New York City looked like the biggest party in human history. Fire the weapons, he ordered. The first blast hit a skyscraper in lower Manhattan. The building collapsed in a cloud of dust and debris exactly as planned. The aliens waited for the panic to begin. Instead, the crowd in Times Square erupted in cheers. Woo! They actually did it. Someone shouted over the broadcast microphones. They actually shot something. I owe my cousin $20. A news reporter standing in the middle of the celebration spoke into her camera as another building exploded behind her. This is Sarah Kim reporting live from what may be the last day of New York City, and I have to say the atmosphere here is incredible. It's like New Year's Eve, the World Cup, and a rock concert all rolled into one. She ducked as debris flew overhead, then popped back up with a big smile. The aliens are definitely keeping their promise to destroy the city, but New Yorkers are treating this like the greatest show on Earth. I can see people live streaming the explosions, and someone just started selling I Survived the Alien Attack t-shirts. The reporter paused as another building came down. Oh, that was a good one. The alien weapons are definitely impressive, though I have to say, the special effects in the last Marvel movie were more realistic. On the alien flagship, Communications Officer Zeppin was monitoring dozens of human broadcasts simultaneously. Sir, they have turned our attack into entertainment again. Multiple television networks are providing live commentary. Someone is keeping score of which buildings create the most impressive explosions. And, sir, added another officer, they have begun rating our accuracy. Currently, we have destroyed 12 buildings but missed our targets 8 times. The humans are calling this pretty good for space invaders, but not exactly sniper-level precision. Krexthal watched his weapons destroy building after building, and with each explosion, the humans seemed to get more excited rather than more frightened. Street parties had broken out across the entire city. People were dancing in the rubble. Sir, the weapons officer called out, "We have a problem." "What now?" Krexthal demanded. "The humans are helping us." "What do you mean helping us?" The weapons officer pointed to his screen. "They have identified which buildings are empty and which ones have people in them. They are using their social media to tell everyone to evacuate buildings before we target them. They have turned our attack into a controlled demolition project." Indeed, the humans had somehow organized themselves to make the alien attack as safe as possible. Buildings were being evacuated minutes before the aliens struck them. Emergency services were standing by, treating the few injuries that occurred. Someone had even set up a first aid station decorated with balloons and a banner reading, "Alien Attack Medical Center. We fix what space jerks break." Furthermore, the officer continued, they have requested that we avoid hitting certain buildings. "They have made requests?" Krexthal asked in disbelief. "Yes, sir. They sent us a list of culturally important buildings they would prefer we not destroy. The list includes libraries, hospitals, schools, and something called a pizza place that makes the good stuff." Krexthal stared at the list that appeared on his screen. The humans had actually sent his invasion fleet a polite request about which parts of their city to destroy. They also, the officer added quietly, sent us a review of our attack so far, 3 out of 5 stars. They said our aim was decent, but our targets were predictable and we should try to be more creative with our explosions. "And sir?" Zeppin called from the communication station. "The mayor of New York City is trying to contact us directly." "Put it through," Krexthal said, too exhausted to argue anymore. The screen showed a middle-aged human woman standing in what appeared to be an emergency command center. Behind her, staff members were coordinating the city's response to the alien attack with the efficiency of people organizing a large event. "Hello there," the mayor said pleasantly. "I'm Mayor Williams of New York City. I wanted to thank you for the advance warning about your attack. It really helped us prepare. I also wanted to ask if you could give us a heads up about tomorrow's schedule. We'd like to plan accordingly." Krexthal found himself answering before he realized how absurd the conversation was. "Tomorrow's schedule? Well, you've been attacking for 6 hours now, and you've destroyed about 15% of Manhattan. At this rate, it'll take you about 4 days to level the whole city. We just want to know if you're planning to work weekends or if you take breaks for meals. It would help with our evacuation planning." "You are planning your evacuation around our attack schedule?" "Of course. This is New York. We plan everything. Traffic, construction, alien invasions, it's all the same logistics problem." The mayor consulted a tablet. "We've actually been really impressed with your work so far. Very professional. Much better than our last construction project, which took 3 years and still isn't finished." We are trying to destroy your city," Krexthal said, confused. "Right, and you're doing a great job. Very thorough. Though I have to ask, when you're done destroying everything, are you planning to build something new? Because we have some zoning laws you might want to look at first." The call ended, with the mayor wishing the aliens a productive rest of their workday and reminding them to stay hydrated. Krexthal stood in silence on his bridge. His crew looked at him with expressions he had never seen before. Confusion, doubt, and something that might have been embarrassment. "Sir," Commander Yextai said quietly, "the crew is asking questions." "What kind of questions?" "They want to know why we are destroying a city where the people are cheering for us. They want to know why the humans keep thanking us for attacking them. They want to know if maybe we are the ones who do not understand what is happening." Krexthal looked at the screens showing New York City. Despite 6 hours of constant bombardment, the humans were still partying in the streets. Someone had set up a stage where comedians were performing stand-up routines about alien invasions. Food vendors were selling alien attack hot dogs and invasion burgers. "Sir," Zeppin called out, "we are receiving a transmission from Earth. It appears to be a thank you card. The screen showed a digital greeting card with cartoon aliens and humans shaking hands. The message read, "Thank you for the exciting day. Your invasion has been the best entertainment we've had in years. Please rate your experience with Earth's hospitality. 5 stars. They also sent us a gift basket," Zeppin added. It contains energy drinks, snacks, and a note saying, "Thanks for working so hard to destroy our city. We know invasion is tough work." For the first time in his military career, Warlord Krexthal began to wonder if the Zephyrian hegemony's approach to conquest might be fundamentally flawed. They had spent centuries perfecting the art of inspiring fear through overwhelming force. But how do you defeat an enemy that turns your weapons into entertainment? How do you conquer a species that thanks you for attacking them? How do you inspire fear in people who think your invasion is the best thing that's happened to their city in decades? As night fell over the partially destroyed New York City, the humans lit up the rubble with party lights and continued their celebration. The alien fleet hung in the sky above them, no longer sure if they were conquerors or unwilling participants in the greatest comedy show in galactic history. After 3 days of invasion, something strange was happening aboard the Zephyrian ships. The aliens were beginning to doubt themselves. Krexthal had stopped the attack on New York City after the mayor sent him a formal performance review rating his destruction work satisfactory, but lacking creativity. The humans had also started a crowdfunding campaign to help the aliens upgrade their weapons, because apparently their current ones were trying their best, but kind of outdated. The final straw had come when a group of New York construction workers offered to help the aliens demolish buildings more efficiently. They had sent detailed plans showing how to bring down skyscrapers with half the energy blasts and twice the spectacular effect. "Sir," Commander Yextai reported during the morning briefing, 17 junior officers have requested psychological evaluation. They say they no longer understand the purpose of our mission." "What do you mean?" Krexthal asked, though he suspected he knew the answer. "They say that if the humans want us to destroy their city, and they thank us for doing it, then we are not actually conquering them. We are just helping them renovate." Krexthal had been thinking the same thing, but hearing it out loud made it worse. "What else?" "The humans have begun what they call Phase 2 of their response to our invasion." "Show me." The main screen displayed Earth's latest broadcast. This time the message was not from government leaders or news anchors. It was from Dr. Amanda Foster, identified as Earth's leading expert on galactic psychology, a field that had apparently been invented 3 days ago. "Greetings. Zephyrian hegemony," Dr. Foster said with a warm smile. "We've been studying your species through your broadcasts and behavior patterns. We think we understand why you're here and we want to help." She gestured to a chart behind her. "Based on our analysis, your species suffers from what we call galactic superiority complex, combined with validation through violence syndrome. Basically, you attack other planets because you need them to be afraid of you to feel good about yourselves." The chart showed alien stick figures attacking planet stick figures, with sad faces on both sides. "But here's the thing," Dr. Foster continued. "Fear-based respect is not real respect. It's just fear. And fear doesn't make anyone actually like you or think you're cool. It just makes them avoid you." She switched to a new chart showing happy stick figures. "We've prepared a comprehensive 12-step program to help your species develop healthier relationships with other planets. Step 1 is admitting you have a problem. Step 2 is apologizing for the 47 planets you've already conquered. We've also prepared individual therapy sessions for any of your crew members who want to talk about their feelings. Our therapists specialize in anger management, self-esteem issues, and what we call death ray dependency." The broadcast ended with Dr. Foster holding up a book titled "Conquering Your Need to Conquer, a Self-Help Guide for Recovering Galactic Empires." On the alien bridge, silence stretched for several minutes. "Sir," Zeppin said finally, "they think we need therapy." "I heard what they said," Krexthal replied. "Sir," another officer added, "some of the crew are asking if we can sign up for the therapy sessions." Krexthal felt a headache forming between his 4 eyes. But Earth's psychological warfare was just beginning. Over the following days, humans launched what they called Operation Make Friends. Instead of fighting the alien invasion, they began treating it like a cultural exchange program. Linguists worked around the clock to learn the Zephyrian language. When they succeeded, they began broadcasting messages in perfect alien speech, welcoming the visitors to Earth and asking about their culture. their home planet, and their favorite foods. Historians created detailed documentaries about the rich cultural heritage of the Zephyrian people, based entirely on analyzing alien broadcasts. They portrayed the Zephyrians as a proud but misunderstood species with a fascinating military tradition and beautiful spaceship designs. Artists drew portraits of alien crew members based on brief glimpses caught during transmissions. These portraits were realistic, but also somehow made the aliens look heroic and noble rather than threatening. But the most devastating part of the operation was the cooking shows. Celebrity chef Mario Delacroix had started a daily program called Cooking for Our Alien Friends. Each episode featured him preparing Earth foods that he thought aliens might enjoy, based on what little humans knew about alien biology. "Today we're making what I call Zephyrian friendship soup," Chef Mario announced cheerfully. "I'm using proteins that should be safe for our four-armed friends, with spices that won't burn their tongue equivalents." He held up vegetables and seasonings to the camera. "Now, I don't know if our alien visitors can actually eat this, but it's the thought that counts, right? Food is the universal language of friendship." The show became incredibly popular on Earth, but it was having an unexpected effect on the alien crews. For the first time in their lives, they were watching members of another species trying to make them feel welcome, instead of trying to kill them. "Sir," reported the ship's cultural analyst, a position that had never existed until this mission. "The humans appear to be genuinely attempting to understand our civilization. For what purpose?" Krexthal asked. "No purpose, sir. They seem to find us interesting." This was a concept that did not exist in Zephyrian culture. Other species were either enemies to be conquered or servants to be controlled. The idea that another species might study them out of curiosity rather than fear was completely foreign. "Sir," Zeppin added, "we have received a formal invitation." "An invitation to what?" "A cultural exchange dinner. The humans want to host a feast in our honor. They promise no weapons, no tricks, just food and conversation." Krexthal stared at the invitation. It was beautifully designed with artistic depictions of both human and alien figures sharing a meal together. At the bottom it read, "We know you came here to conquer us, but maybe we could just hang out instead." "Earth. They want to have dinner with us," he said slowly. "Yes, sir." They also sent a menu with options for different dietary requirements and asked if any of our crew members have food allergies. "Food allergies?" "Yes, sir. They want to make sure we don't get sick from eating their food." Krexthal felt something crack inside his understanding of the universe. In 47 previous conquests, no species had ever asked if his soldiers had food allergies. But the humans were not finished with their psychological campaign. Earth's final broadcast of the day came from an unexpected source. Children. The transmission showed a classroom full of human children, aged approximately 8 to 10 years old in human terms. Their teacher stood beside them with a warm smile. "Hello, alien friends," the children said in unison, waving at the camera. "We learned about you in school today. We think your spaceships are really cool." One child stepped forward. "My name is Emma, and I drew you a picture." She held up a crayon drawing of aliens and humans playing together on a playground. "I hope you like it." "Do you have playgrounds on your planet?" Another child spoke up. "My name is Marcus. I want to know if you have pets. We have dogs and cats and fish. Do you have space dogs?" A third child added, "I'm Sarah. My mom says you're here to take over our planet, but I think maybe you're just lonely. Do you want to be friends instead?" The transmission ended with all the children singing a song they had written called "Welcome to Earth." "Please don't hurt us, we have cookies." On the alien flagship, several crew members were staring at the screen with expressions that had no equivalent in their language. "Sir," Commander Yextai said quietly, "the children drew us pictures. I can see that. They want to know if we have pets. I heard them." "Sir, what do I tell the crew when they ask why we are pointing weapons at creatures who draw us pictures and ask about our pets?" Krexthal had no answer. In his military training, there had been no courses on how to respond to enemy children offering friendship and cookies. "Sir," Zeppin called out urgently, "we have a problem." "What now?" 3 of our junior officers have submitted formal requests to defect to Earth. They say they want to try the human food and learn to draw pictures. Warlord Krexthal, conqueror of 47 star systems, terror of the galaxy, and supreme commander of the most powerful military force in known space, sat down heavily in his command chair. For the first time in his military career, he was beginning to understand that the Zephyrian hegemony might not be as good at conquest as they thought. And worse, he was starting to suspect that maybe conquest was not actually a very good idea in the first place. Below them, Earth continued to spin peacefully, filled with people who wanted to cook them dinner and children who drew them pictures and asked if they had space pets. And somehow, that was the most powerful weapon any enemy had ever used against them. The end came not with a battle, but with the awards ceremony. On the 7th day of the invasion, Earth's United Defense Council announced that they would be hosting the first annual Galactic Invasion Awards. The ceremony would honor the best attempted conquest of Earth and recognize excellence in categories like most creative, threats, best special effects, and most persistent effort. Despite complete failure, the Zephyrian hegemony was nominated in every category. We are proud to announce, said President Chen during the broadcast, that the Zephyrian hegemony has won our Lifetime Achievement Award for Most Dedicated Invasion Attempt. While they didn't succeed in conquering us, they certainly gave it their best shot. The ceremony was held in what remained of Times Square in New York City. A stage had been built from the rubble of buildings the aliens had destroyed. The backdrop featured photos of the alien fleet with captions like, "Participation Trophy Winners" and "Thanks for Playing." Thousands of humans attended, many wearing costumes that were supposed to look like Zephyrians but were hilariously inaccurate. The aliens were depicted with too many eyes, the wrong number of arms, and in bright colors that made them look like children's toys rather than galactic conquerors. "And now," announced the ceremony host, comedian Jake Morrison, "let's bring out our guests of honor, the Zephyrian hegemony." A spotlight shined up at the alien ships hanging in the sky above the ceremony. "Come on down, guys," Jake called out. "Don't be shy. You've won awards." On the alien flagship, Warlord Krexthal stared at the ceremony in complete bewilderment. His communications officer looked at him hopefully. "Sir, they want us to attend their ceremony. They say we've won prizes." "Prizes for what?" "For trying to invade them, sir." Krexthal felt something break inside his mind. "They are giving us awards for failing to conquer them." "Yes, sir. They seem very proud of us." Below, the ceremony continued. "Since our alien friends are too modest to come down and accept their awards in person," Jake announced, "we'll just have to give them the recognition they deserve from here." The crowd cheered as a series of mock awards were presented. Best Dramatic Entrance, the Zephyrian hegemony, for showing up with ships the size of cities and blocking out the sun. Very theatrical. Most Creative Destruction, the Zephyrian hegemony, for the innovative moon demolition project. "We didn't know we needed that done, but thanks for taking care of it." Best Unintentional Comedy, the Zephyrian hegemony, for taking themselves so seriously that it became hilarious. But the final award was the one that finally broke the alien fleet's morale completely. "And now," Jake said, his voice becoming warm and sincere, "our final award. The Good Effort Trophy goes to the Zephyrian hegemony for trying really, really hard to be scary. You didn't succeed, but you gave it your best shot, and that's what matters." The crowd gave the aliens a standing ovation. It was genuine applause, the kind people give to children who tried their hardest in a school play but forgot half their lines. "We know conquest is tough work," Jake continued. "Nobody gets it right on the first try. Maybe next time you'll do better, but probably not, because we'll be ready with even more memes." On the alien bridge, the crew watched in stunned silence as an entire planet applauded their failed invasion attempt. "Sir," Commander Yextai said quietly, "they are encouraging us to try again." "I heard them," Krexthal replied. "Sir, the crew is asking questions again." "What questions now?" "They want to know if we are the most incompetent military force in galactic history." Krexthal considered this. In 7 days, they had destroyed 1 moon and part of 1 city. In response, humans had turned their invasion into entertainment, offered them therapy, drawn them pictures, invited them to dinner, and given them participation trophies. 47 previous planets had surrendered in fear. Earth had responded by hosting a comedy show. "Sir," Zepin called out, "we are receiving a final message from Earth." The screen showed President Chen standing in front of the human flag. Behind her stood representatives from every nation on Earth, all smiling and waving at the camera. "Dear Warlord Krexthal and the crew of the Zephyrian hegemony," President Chen began, "thank you for visiting Earth. We've had a wonderful time getting to know you. Even though you were trying to kill us, she gestured to the group behind her. We've been talking and we've decided to make you an offer. Instead of conquest, how about friendship? The camera zoomed in on her face, showing genuine warmth and sincerity. We know your species has been conquering planets for a long time, but maybe that's not making you happy. Maybe what you really need is not more planets to rule, but friends to share the galaxy with. So here's our proposal. Come down to Earth, not as conquerors, but as visitors. We'll show you our cities, our cultures, our food. We'll teach you about art, music, comedy, and all the things that make life fun instead of just powerful. In return, you can teach us about your worlds, your technology, your stories. We can learn from each other instead of fighting each other. President Chen smiled. We promise not to make any more jokes about your invasion if you promise not to blow up any more of our stuff. Deal? The transmission ended with the entire human delegation waving goodbye and holding up a sign that read, "Space Friends Forever." On the alien flagship, something unprecedented happened. The crew began to talk among themselves, ignoring military protocol. "Do you think they mean it?" asked one junior officer. "They drew us pictures," said another. "And they wanted to cook us dinner." "They gave us awards," added a third. "No one has ever given us awards before." Commander Yextai approached Krexthal's command chair. "Sir, the crew has made a request." "What now?" "They want to accept the human offer, sir. They want to try the food and see the art and learn about this thing called comedy." Krexthal looked around his bridge. His crew, trained from birth to be the most feared military force in the galaxy, were looking at him with hope in their eyes. Hope for something other than conquest and destruction. "Sir," Yextai continued, "with respect, maybe the humans are right. Maybe conquest does not make us happy. Maybe we are just lonely." Warlord Krexthal thought about his military career. 47 conquered planets, billions of subjugated creatures, countless worlds reduced to ash and tribute, and in all that time not one species had ever drawn him a picture, or asked if he had pets or offered to cook him dinner. Not one species had ever wanted to be his friend. "Open a communication channel to Earth," he ordered. The screen activated, showing the same ceremony stage where humans were still celebrating their Galactic Invasion Awards. "This is Warlord Krexthal of the Zephyrian Hegemony," he announced. The crowd below fell silent, then erupted in cheers when they realized the aliens were finally talking to them directly. Krexthal paused, trying to find words for something no Zephyrian had ever said before. "We accept your offer of friendship." The crowd's cheering became so loud it could be heard even in space. "However," he continued, "we have one condition." The humans quieted, waiting. "We want to know if you really have cookies." Earth's response was immediate and unanimous. The largest baking project in human history began that very day. 1 month later, the first Zephyrian delegation landed on Earth for the Galactic Friendship Summit. They were greeted not with weapons or surrender documents, but with cookies, handmade welcome signs, and children asking if they wanted to see the zoo. Warlord Krexthal, now calling himself Cultural Exchange Ambassador Krexthal, discovered that humans had been right about one thing. Conquest had not made his species happy, but friendship, it turned out, was the most powerful force in the galaxy. The Zephyrian hegemony quietly abandoned their conquest plans and became the galaxy's first interspecies friendship organization. They sent ambassadors instead of invasion fleets, offering cultural exchange instead of surrender demands. Other alien species, hearing about what had happened at Earth, began requesting their own friendship invasions. The Zephyrians were happy to oblige, having learned that being liked was much more satisfying than being feared. And on Earth, the Galactic Invasion Awards became an annual tradition, honoring any alien species that attempted to conquer humanity with increasingly creative responses involving comedy, friendship, and really excellent snacks. The trophy for best failed conquest still held the place of honor in the display case, dedicated to the Zephyrian hegemony, the first alien species to discover that humans' greatest weapon was not technology or military might, but their absolutely irrepressible refusal to take anything seriously, even the end of the world.